What's up, everybody? Welcome to Are You Down with LPT, the podcast where agents like you share their stories, experiences, and insights to help each other level up and thrive. In every episode, we're diving deep into the real-life challenges, wins, and lessons from the front lines. Whether you're a seasoned pro or just getting started, this is the place to connect, learn, and grow together. So, if you're ready to get down with LPT and take your game to the next level, let's jump in. Welcome back to Are You Down with LPT? I've got a couple special guests with us today. I got Luke Strahan and Alissa DeGroote here with Strahan Construction. Excited to talk to you guys about, Strahan's been doing it for a while. I know it started with your dad. You guys can probably, talk about that a little bit. But Luke, why don't you kick us off here and tell us a little bit about Strahan Construction, maybe, kind of how it all got started with your dad.
Yeah, absolutely. So my parents, they kind of went through, they have 3 kids. They went through a major life ordeal. My mom almost died. She recovered from cancer and it was amazing. It was a miracle. And they had a vision to take on life and do exciting things, and they decided to start building homes. Yeah. And so they had a huge passion for building beautiful homes. I think that's where it all started. They wanted a beautiful home for them, their family. So they built their own house. Yeah. Decided to build one for their neighbor and family and friends, and pretty soon it turned into more than just that.
Yeah. Any idea what year that was?
I think 86 maybe is when they first built the first home. I don't know if it was incorporated that year, but that was when it first started.
And they built their own with another builder and didn't have a great experience. They thought, if this guy does okay, we can do good. We can do better.
That's funny. So that's where it was
2 houses that they did that. So after that, I think they liked the process of it, though. Yeah. They liked the building process. That's what got them in there. Yeah. Didn't love necessarily their experience, so.
Yeah, and they, both of them, had an incredible reputation, both in the real estate world, home building, and you guys obviously continuing on that. But maybe tell us about each one of your roles within the company today.
So I do real estate. I'm a realtor with LPT Legacy. I've done open houses. I started back, maybe early 20s, like late teens, doing open houses with my mom. So I've done those for decades.
You've seen it.
Saw my mom do it, but not as a licensed agent. And I got my license 2 years ago and jumped in and started doing it independently. So I love just talking to people on Sunday, tell them about what we do, and then driving the business to Luke. Yeah. So.
I mean, I've done this since like my entire life.
Yeah. You grew up around it, right?
I grew up in this. I remember Sunday afternoons going over and cleaning houses at like 6 years old.
Yes. That sounds right.
I think I was working full time when I was 12 in the summertime. Yeah. So it's been all I've known. I went up to Iowa State, got an engineering degree. So it didn't look like I just got this thing handed to me. Yeah. So I paid my dues up at Iowa State with an engineering degree. But my main role now at Strahan Construction is working with people from day one. Just the very basic ideas of their dream home, and then taking it all the way through design, getting that completely, in the ground going, all the design aspects of a home I'm heavily involved in. That's kind of my main role. I oversee the company and all those good things as well. But
keeping on that legacy for sure that your parents built. So there's a lot of home builders in central Iowa. What do you think makes Strahan Construction different from others?
There's some more exciting ones than others. Maybe the boring one, but hey, it's not boring when it's your house. Customer service, quality. Yeah. It's one of those things that nobody cares about like early, but then when you move in and things start breaking or there's an issue, it becomes really exciting at that point. And that was something that my parents, really saw as an easy way to really set yourself apart. Yeah, is taking care of people.
And it seems like common sense, but we know, but I know from experience that many times that is not the case. And, those small things I think are definitely set you apart. So
I also think curb appeal. Yeah. People drive up and know it's a Strahan house.
They do.
That's something we care about a lot. Yeah. I mean, I want to stand the test of time, but I also want it to be something that's beautiful that people love.
Yeah. Yeah. You guys have kind of been more on the custom side. Was it always that way? Go back to 86 or whatever when they started, always about the custom experience and less of the spec stuff?
Yes. My mom, she would say when she was building a house with someone else, the builder would say, "Oh, you don't want that. you don't need that. You don't want that. Stop telling me no. So she really liked the custom side to be able to say, we'll do it for you.
Yeah.
What do you want? Because you want something different than the next person wants. And so, I think definitely the quality, the thing that I hear in open houses, people love the feel of Strahan Home. They walk in, they don't always know why they love it, but it's all the light. It's all the woodwork.
Yeah.
It's the attention to detail. And working with my mom, I always heard all her lines, heard all the things she said. But I think the most important thing she said, when you're looking for a builder, you want to first trust them, which it's kind of like one of those things, like you don't think, oh, trust, but you want to know that everything that's being built behind the scenes, the foundation, everything's going in top notch, not just the finishes, but then also you want to love their style. And I think people love our style.
Yeah. Real estate, we always talk about know, trust, and like. For you guys, it's probably know, trust, and love. But it starts with the know, and I'm kind of off topic here a little bit of what I wanted to say, but like Strahan is known. And it's amazing to me. We have Central Iowa Exchange, which is a real estate Facebook page for, agents in Des Moines, and people will specifically be on there. And you don't really see this with any other builder. I mean, this is truthful. No other builder in Des Moines where it's like, I'm looking for a whatever resale, but you will see often, I'm looking for a Strahan resale, because your style, what you guys have built really is different than, what others are doing in the market. So hats off to your parents, but also to you guys as well.
Awesome.
You think, like, you talk about the custom, process, how involved are homeowners throughout that process?
I try to balance that a little bit with what their goals are.
Yeah.
So you can be as involved as you want. So we try to set it up so that obviously it's not buying a spec house or a existing home. You have stuff that you have say on, but the way we have it set up is basically, if you want to get into the nitty gritty, you can pick out every last aspect of the home.
And you probably have people like that,
yes,
right?
And we do. We have that. And then we have other people, and they have like 6 priorities, and they have, they want to take a lot of freedom in, every last plumbing fixture in the home, but they couldn't care less about the electrical layout or something.
Yeah.
And so there's some freedom where it's like, hey, we just want like what you think is best here, roll with that. But I want to really be involved in this section. So you don't have to be like on a person that like has to have, you don't have to want to control everything to do a custom home.
Yeah. I think my wife and I, kind of different on that. My wife loves being involved in stuff like that. I'd just tell her to call me when it's done, and I look forward to seeing it, so I know we got all different kinds of personalities.
Well, and a lot of times, each person has, one spouse is, hey, you call me when you get to this section. Everything else I don't care about. Just bring me in for this.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Features, details, buyers consistently appreciate about a Strahan home. I know you mentioned some of them, Alissa, but...
Yeah, woodwork, I think just the custom experience meeting with us. We take people from, maybe they drew their house on a napkin. We take people who have plans, and we still do them in-house, design them in-house. I think they love the design aspect of it. And really the timeless, I think people appreciate the timeless feel of our homes. We're always doing the cutting edge of, what's out there, but at the same time, not diving into some modern thing that's going to be, 10, 20 years down the road is going to be totally dated. So
I think Luke said it earlier, like when you guys said it, like you pull up and I can tell like, oh, Strahan built this house. Like there's so many houses in Ankeny where I pull up to it and I know that it was built by Strahan. So it's just a cool thing.
And a big selling point, I feel like, for really ever since we began, is that every home is unique.
Yeah.
We never, ever built the same home twice.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of cookie cutter building. And that's really, I think, in Ankeny, what drew my parents to just the uniqueness. They got some design inspiration from Kansas City. You had grandparents in Kansas City.
Yeah.
And so, the steep roof pitches and just some of those design features that really weren't done back when they started in Ankeny at all.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of similar floor plans in Ankeny. Probably lived in them before, but so talk about, maybe to our agents a little bit about the new construction process, and maybe start, what are some common misconceptions buyers have about building a custom home that maybe they weren't prepared for or didn't think about?
Well, I'd say the most common misconception is that it's a horrible experience. Do everything you can to avoid it.
Yeah.
You do hear this a lot. Like, my friends built and it was a nightmare.
Yeah.
For us, man, the end of the build, we have at the kind of the final day, we have the final walkthrough, and people are, doing kind of the finishing touches and meeting the team for the last time, shaking hands. I mean, people really love what they did. Like, they love the experience. They're happy. I mean, people are crying. It's like a pretty big experience on the final day. Not crying in a bad way.
Yeah.
So I mean, people are it's really I mean, I love like the final closing day. So it's kind of neat to see people get to the end and be so thrilled, excited. I mean, really appreciative. All the guys on our team care, and people know, you can tell people care. So I mean, like the amount of praise and thanks to the guys that work for me on their house is it's always a good thing. It's always kind of surprising how much people really appreciate that. So that's kind of like an off topic thing a little bit, but
no, that's awesome. Yeah. So for agents, at what point, I'm meeting with a client, they're thinking about building, like, at what point should an agent introduce a buyer to Strahan? Like, where do you think that starts?
Well, I kind of think, it depends on what kind of, client you're working with. Sometimes you have someone who's just toying around with the idea, but I would definitely get them in to meet face to face, say with Luke in this instance, and just explore it, because I think people are sometimes surprised. Well, I would say the biggest thing is the money. We're building homes in the 900 to 3 million price range. Yeah. I looked before I came, what's on the MLS in that range? There's not a ton of variety. I mean, there's actually a decent amount of homes right now, and that, mostly million to 1.5, something like that. But, I would get them in to explore the idea of it. I think for an agent, I think it's a way to really build relationship with your client when you go through a longer process. There's something kind of cool about that. You're definitely with them in it for.
Yeah, you don't show them 5 houses over the weekend. They buy one and then
a
month later close.
But they're through the process. It's a 12-month process for the most part. We have design for 2 months and then the build for the rest. And so it's an opportunity to really connect with your clients. But I would say, when you're in that exploring house point, I would set up a meeting with,
And you guys are good with that.
I like it early because there's a couple things that go into it. So I have some people who come to me with land. I prefer to kind of at least have some input to help people when they're purchasing land, because some people end up with lots that just don't function. Function for the size of home or the type of home. I mean, we've had houses where people who brought us land that they purchased and you literally can't build a house on it. I mean, there have been some weird scenarios. So I always like to give people like some of my expertise on the land they're purchasing, make sure they're getting something good. So I love being in early on that. And then I also I have some people who come to me where they've met with an architect, they've designed their dream home, their budget is $1 million, and their architect drew a 17,000 square foot house.
It's a $3 million house.
It's a $4 million house. I mean, that is almost always the case if someone's met with an architect first. And so I love getting in early, helping kind of, I love to be a part of the design from the very beginning to make sure we're matching it to their land, making sure the land works. So yeah, I'm a big proponent of early.
I think that's a good thing for our agents to know is if you have clients looking for land, don't ever assume that, there's a couple acres, this will be fine, they can figure it out. Like, to me, it's, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, what are you looking for? What do you want to do on this land? What do you want to build? And bring in a builder and make sure that at least we don't have to figure it all out that first trip, but have someone that knows more than what I know or what they know, look at the land and make sure that, this is buildable. You could get, something close to what you're looking for on there. So I love that. I think that's a great key for our agents to know.
Yeah, I think agents, if you're working with a buyer, maybe you've worked with them for a while to find a house. I think suggesting building, if that hasn't been on the table, is a great option, especially when you're building in that, or you're looking in that $1 million to $2 million price range, because one of the best things about custom home building is people get exactly what they want.
Yeah.
They're putting their money into what they want.
Yeah, that's good. What do you think for agents and buyers and builders? What makes a smooth relationship from, your guys' standpoint as we agents are involved, in the process? What makes that smooth?
I would say, I mean, you mentioned this earlier, but trust is a huge thing. I mean, if you don't trust your builder, then you feel like you have to hover, watch everything, not gonna let anything slip by me. Yeah. So, I mean, you want to be able to trust your builder, because there's just, you don't have enough time in life to keep your eyes on everything. I mean, I've had some people they were building for one time, and I mean, they were just sweating everything. And I was like, hey, relax.
Yeah.
you hired me so you could relax.
So, yeah.
We're gonna make this thing's gonna be amazing.
Yeah.
and if there's an issue, we're gonna stand behind it and take care of you guys. So relax. That's why you hired us.
Yeah.
So I feel like
that's great.
Trust is a huge part of that.
Yeah. That's great.
Yeah.
So take us through the custom home journey. What's a typical timeline? So you said early, Luke, we're early in the process. How short or how long could this journey be?
I mean, I've had people come in. I mean, we are not like a production builder where we're just throwing stuff up fast. Nor do I crew up. Like if I get a bunch of sales, I don't just like hire 6 trim carpenters so I can build 6 houses at the same time. So I mean, we pretty much got the same guys on every house. So our typical build's like 10 months, maybe to a year. And then really big projects, obviously, they can stretch out to a year and a half. Yeah. Usually the preliminary stage is relatively short. We kind of get the big picture of what we're going to be doing, and then we start into design. And design is a lot of that's people's pace. So I kind of try to match people's goals. So I have some people who are in a huge hurry. It's like, okay, let's go. I mean, I had somebody that I had been working with for about a year. I mean, we were going long term, and then somebody else came in, designed their home, built it, moved in before we started their house. So, so
you got both ends.
So I got pretty both. Yeah. So I like to. I mean, I'm happy to kind of accommodate. I have people I'm working with long term, short term, fast, take their time. So, but like just to kind of like typical. I mean, usually you spend 3-4 months designing it, and it's a 10-11 month build time.
Yeah. And so, how about the design? Like, what does that look like for a buyer? You guys got vendors they're going to? Is there people that help them with that process?
I mean, the upfront, like architecture type stuff, I'm heavily involved with that. Every single meeting, myself, architects, homeowners, that they're heavily involved there. And then as far as like design, making decisions, I mean, this isn't like super fancy, but we have a decision list with order of priority, where they're going. And, our customers, do a lot of the design work as we build it. So you're not trying to rush everything in before we break ground and then we kick you off the whole site and you come back several months later. Our customers kind of design it in stages, and we keep that fairly. You get a little bit of chunk of time for each stage, and as the house progresses, you can kind of make changes as needed. And so people work with different designers. We have a bunch of different designers that we love working with that we recommend for customers. And some people, it kind of depends on your capabilities, what you love. Do you want to be the person picking every paint color, or do you want to have someone come to your house and show you the 3 colors that they think are amazing?
Yeah. I don't want to pick anything. So I guess we'll just talk about the market a little bit and trends and opportunities. What are some trends you guys are seeing in the new construction market right now? You were looking today, even in that price point, I think there's...
Yeah, I would say a lot of the homes in there they're either really dated, so you're not, or you're having new, there's a few new construction homes, but to me, it seems like when you're looking in that range, I see just such a motivation to go custom.
Yeah.
Because there's just, you might be spending 1.5, but you're looking through, maybe some of the old oak from, 90s or, just, I personally see the trend towards really people loving custom building and going the building route. I would say the open houses I feel like the price range we're building is a little bit untouched by some of the market, ups and downs in the extreme level. I mean, we've had years that have been, of course, a little slower, but when you're building in that 900 to 3 million price range, sometimes they're not as moved by the economy. We have people coming in and paying cash. Or
that's what amazes me, that the high end market, I feel, is doing really well. Yeah. I mean, relatively, I was talking to somebody yesterday about it. Like, you go back pre-COVID, it was like 2019. And there was like 25 or 6 homes over $1 million that sold in the Des Moines market. And last year there was like 190. And, cost of construction went up. I know you guys know that. And, everything else went up because of COVID. But that has just felt like, considering the market it's okay, it's not great.
Yeah.
Like, the high end is kind of held its own.
Yeah.
Given even the market conditions. And I think less driven by interest rates and all that stuff. Yeah.
I think one thing that's interesting, the market has changed in that, in the 90s, you had the 90s houses and you had the 2000s, 2010s. In the 2020s, with all of social media, it seems like everything is the trend and nothing. You know what I mean? Like all the things. I mean, you can find every trend. You can find every trend happening all at the same time in some ways across the internet. So, but if I was going to pick a trend that I do see, at least in measure, would be classic and old world, sort of mixed with modernity, softened with modernity. But I see a lot of, classic old world desires from people. I mean, we're building houses that look like they could be a French chateau.
Cool. Yeah.
With, again, mixed with a bit of softened, I would say, with modernity. But that's definitely been been a trend here for a little bit, and I love that because I love timeless.
Yeah, I know that's kind of your thing, right? Yeah. Any areas or communities for you guys that are generating the most interest right now?
Yeah, so we have Timber Valley, which that's our own community. We have a couple, I would say about half of our homes are probably outside of our projects and half in, I would say. So we have our own lots that we have for sale. We have Timber Valley Estates, which is all built up. We have 6 lots left there right now. It's beautiful community. All the homes are, what would you say, like 1 to 3 million?
Yeah.
So it's a very upscale area. We have Antler Ridge we're building in. We've had a lot of interest in Antler Ridge, which is not exclusive to Strand, but we have some of the premier lots.
Yeah, there's a lot of nice lots back there.
Premier lots. And we're building homes out there as well. There's a lot of interest in that. I was looking at the map on the MLS. It is kind of interesting. There's kind of this line along Saylorville, which is where we're at. The west, kind of some southwest and a little bit northwest with the Polk City, the Antler Ridge project. And then there's some over by I would say the other ones are over by the interstate.
Yeah.
And the east side, north. And I personally, of course, am very biased towards the Saylorville area. I mean, you're by a lake rather than an interstate. It's quieter. Yeah. It's a beautiful area. There's trails, whether you're in Antler Ridge or Timber Valley, the trails are just across the street. So I think if you're wanting that nature, I think the side of town that we're on is excellent.
Yeah. Yeah. And between those two developments, they're trying to find trees in Iowa.
It's not always easy.
It's not always easy. So, and good sized lots that you can work with. Both those developments have great options there. And it's kind of nice. One's South Ankeny. I get a lot of comments like, we need South Ankeny feeder. We need North Ankeny feeder.
Good luck.
Antler Ridge, North, Timber Valley, South.
Yeah. Yes. Which, especially the south side, it feels like there's tough to find the land.
Very.
Yeah.
So maybe let's just talk about where, people can connect with you. If they want to learn more about Strahan Construction, where would you recommend they go? Agents or buyers?
Well, I old school. I've got our website, strahanconstruction.com. You go to our gallery.
Strahanconstruction.com?
Strahanconstruction.com. Our gallery is, you can just sit there and soak up all kinds of super fun projects. We've kind of got it organized by house on there. And that's a really fun spot to start and get to know us there. Obviously, we have our at Strahan Construction Facebook page, Instagram. You can come to a Strahan Construction neighborhood, knock on some doors.
Really, the open house is a great way to get introduced to if you actually want that in person. I've hosted open houses weekly on Sundays for decades. We're now kind of on an every other Sunday, not quite there because we sold both of our models.
Yeah, I know you did. Yeah,
we're in a builder's model now.
So Luke's house became the model, right? Yes.
But I think people got to come see our work. Yes. I mean, I think that's the most impressive thing, and I hear that comment, time and time again. The finishes. They're impressed with the finishes, the drywall, the paint. We tend to attract picky people because people that care about those things, they care about the detail. They care about that. So I would say come meet face to face. I like to walk people through our lot options that we have for sale. We've said we have walkout, wooded, nice variety of lots, some different areas. And then we also build in probably 30-mile radius. Recently built a home out in Lake Panorama. We have a home out there as well. And build, and kind of all the Des Moines metro area. So if you're looking for land outside, we can help you with that. But initially come to the open house, and then I direct people to Luke really quickly because he's great with helping people understand the pricing, the project, the design, the next steps. Yeah.
And not be afraid to come talk. I mean, I know every conversation doesn't lead to it, right? At least start to chat through what that looks like.
Yes.
So final word for agents, with our team as they're working with buyers, maybe interested not only in new construction, but specifically Strahan. Any final advice for our agents?
I would just say we can guarantee they'll have a great experience.
Yeah.
And when you have buyers you're working with and you take them to a builder, you want them to have a great experience. And I can guarantee that with us. I mean, we come back 30 days after they close on the home, we come back a year later, get a list. I have people at the open house that have built with us that just come back to see me, and they come back to talk about their experience and how good it was. Cool. And they want to see what we're building now. And so a relationship is so key with us. It's a family business, it's a small family business. And I think people love that. And I think agents, when you're bringing your buyers into a relationship with a builder, you want it to be warm. You want it to feel right. Yeah, they'll have a great experience.
Yeah. I mean, I appreciate. I mean, maybe some people have contentious relationships with the realtor. I appreciate realtors who bring people our way.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And so I'm happy to work and glad to work with people who bring customers our way.
Yeah. Well, look, Alissa, really appreciate you guys. Can't say enough good things about Strahan Construction and the reputation that you guys have carried on from your parents. So thank you for joining us today, and we'll chat again soon.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks so much, Kyle.
That's a wrap for today's episode of Are You Down with LPT? Thank you so much for tuning in. We hope you get some valuable takeaways to apply to your journey. New episodes drop every Friday, so make sure to subscribe so you never miss out. And hey, if you have your own story you'd like to share or questions you'd like to dive into, hit us up. Until next time, stay down with LPT and keep leveling up. Catch you in the next one.